Keep it moving, guys. Number 13. All right. So this again is the actual problem you'll be answering on your portfolio. It's one of those problems that I can kind of just walk you through. You'll be fine with it. It's nothing that you can't handle. Okay. So it says the school party committee members are filling balloons with helium for an upcoming end of year celebration. The graph below represents the number of balloons they filled during the first 8 hours. As you can see, there's a graph. It reads that there are balloons for the end of year celebration. The y-axis going up and down is looks like scale that goes up by 60 for each line, and that represents the total balloons filled. So that's the y-axis. On the x-axis, we have the number of hours, and it looks like it's scaling increasing by 1. So when we want to figure out how many balloons were filled during the first 8 hours, we need to figure out how many balloons per hour they filled. So we do this with division because we can figure out how many balloons were filled in 1 hour based on these two pieces of information. Because if we look at 2 is easier. 1's in the middle here, it's not like concrete. So look at 2 on the x-axis. So it is 260. So in 2 hours, there were 60 balloons filled. So if you take those 60 balloons and divide it by those 2 hours, you'll see that it equals something. Now let's see what happens if we look at another one. Look at 4. It's a little easier, right? So if we take the 120 balloons filled at 4 hours, so we read it right. 120 aligns with 4. You see that? This dot, 120 balloons filled, go back in 4 hours. Divided by 4, it's going to equal a number. And if these two numbers are the same, and you could take, and I'd stretch it, you either go for 180 divided by 6, and then do 240 divided by 8. All right? You figure out how many balloons are filled each hour. So you could say that there were blank balloons filled each hour during the first 8 hours. All right? I also want to know how many balloons there were at 8 hours. So you should say at 8 hours, or you know what? After 8 hours, there were how many balloons filled. All right? This should be pretty straightforward. It's just read the graph. I would follow these 2 steps. Make sure you show your work. Make sure you write this sentence. Make sure you tell me how many balloons there were after 8 hours. And this will be a good score. All right? Use your own words for this. Okay? We're not copying Mr. C's words. And you will be okay.